Just as a disclaimer, we want you to know that some of the movies that we will be reviewing were shot in a different time and era where people of race and sex were not treated equally. We understand this and hope you do too. The movies or anything that happened on the sets are not the views of this podcast or what this show is intended to be all about.
Exactly. And we want to give due diligence in presenting the movie and not the views of the cast or directors or anyone involved. But we also feel it's necessary to let the audience know some of the background information to get a feel for what was happening at the time of shooting the film. Again, we hope you understand that we do not agree with everything that went on, and we just want to give out the information. And with that being said, hope you enjoy the show.
I'm Vincent Price, and you're invited to my party in the house on Haunted Hill, where so far the ghosts have murdered only 7 people. So won't you come and make it 8? You'll see human heads without bodies. Mysterious pools of blood dripping from the ceiling. The walls move slowly in against you. Don't try to escape, you can't. Ready, dear?
No.
Are you ready, dear?
Yes, damn you.
The ghosts are waiting, so won't you join me in the house on Haunted Hill? Hurry, or you'll be late for your own funeral.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. It's been a while. We've had some crazy stuff happen in our lives, but we're back. And today,
we have The House on Haunted Hill.
The House on Haunted Hill. I'm your host, Jimbo, and I'm joined by my 2 co-hosts,
Kyle.
I'm
going first this time because I'm sitting in your chair. That's how it goes. Kyle here, your host, fearless leader, and genuine awesome person who's very humble.
And the usual tired Terence.
Terence, you guys know Terence. Yeah, I'm here again. That's all he said.
And Terence, I guess.
So this is episode 66. We've been talking about House on Haunted Hill, a great classic movie with Vincent Price. So Terence, let's take it away.
All right. House on Haunted Hill. The 1959 version, by the way.
Please,
the better version.
Yeah. House on Hill is superior.
Release date, February 17th, 1959. Its runtime is 75 minutes, so you got about an average movie length. Looking at, directed by William Castle, who's also known for The Lady from Shanghai, which I haven't seen, but I've seen it mentioned a couple times in previous episodes.
So we might want to make a mental note of that.
Yeah, to eventually cover that movie.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Exactly. You got writers Rob White, also known for the 1999 version of this movie.
Rob, you did. Rob. I guess he's just trying to keep up with the times and modernize it.
Yeah.
But
and also
I don't think it
change up so then people didn't catch what was actually going to happen if you've seen the original. Because you're like, oh, I know how this ends. You're like, oh, no, they went full on supernatural.
I bet he just saw the check and was like, sure.
that makes sense. We got producers William Castle and Rob White, so it kind of seems like two buddies made this movie.
It's like you and Kyle making a movie. Hey, let's make this movie.
Yeah, might as well.
Cinematographer Carl E. Guthrie, Also known for The Green Hornet, the 1966 version.
That was Seth Rogen one.
Always with the remakes. It's funny, like, after doing this podcast, I realized that we've been doing remakes way longer than I thought we have.
Right.
Yeah.
And just
Hollywood hasn't been original in
just
decades.
Yeah, exactly. Just everything's everything. All right. Composer, we got Von Dexter, who's also known for Who in the World, and composing music for that movie, which came out in 1962.
The only thing I can think of right there is Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. That's what I thought you was going.
Really
And then we have something new and interesting, since there was no box office information. We have some film locations. One in particular is Ennis House, the exterior of the house on Haunted Hill. This is located in Los Angeles, California, and there's actually an address. So, as far as I know, the house is still there.
Hey, if any of our listeners are there, Terrence, why don't you give them the address and maybe they can snap a picture and put it on our Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be cool to see.
This is at 2607 Glendower Avenue, Los Feliz, Los Angeles, California, USA. This was also filmed in LA and then Los Feliz, other locations in Los Feliz. Filming dates, looks like they filmed from July 22nd, 1958 to September 16th, 1958. So 3 months of filming. And then afterwards, the editing and such, and then came out in February. That's a pretty quick turnaround, actually. Mm-hmm. Then again, there wasn't, we have to spend 6 months on, special effects, digital special effects. This was all, practical effects, which, it was pretty good.
Pretty well done, yeah. I agree. And it's still like a simplistic film in its way, so it doesn't have that much post-production to go for it.
Exactly.
Now, down there at that bottom note, Terrence, where it says the theme.
Yeah, the theme of House on Haunted Hill by Richard Kane and Richard Loring.
Right. So there's that score at the beginning. It has lyrics to it.
Really?
So if I can find it, I will put it in at the end of this episode because I'd like to hear it. You know what I mean? But I think I have in my notes what it says, but I'd like to try to find the audio so we can actually hear what it sounds instead of me just reading it. You know what I mean? So I think it'd be pretty cool.
That'd be awesome. I had no idea that there was lyrics to it. That's why we do this podcast. Learn something new.
Every day. Because knowledge is power.
Then finally we got the tech specs of Sound Mix Mono Westerex recording system. This is a black and white movie. Aspect ratio is 1.85 by 1. Film length, we're looking at 1,957 meters, Netherlands. Negative film formats, 35 millimeter. Process spherical. And printed format, 35 millimeter. Almost got through with no flubs.
Not so fast.
Not so fast. And there are no awards for this at all.
I can't even, like we were discussing, I can't even believe that there wasn't even the
the National Film Preservation Board. Usually we, at the very least, see that, maybe a couple
DVD collections
and DVD collections.
What I'm getting from this is that this is our opportunity to be the first award to be given to House on Haunted Hill. We can give it the Tragedy of Cinema Podcast Award to the House on Haunted Hill.
We already got the awards.
We'll be historic.
Kyle, you haven't been here that long, but we do have the tragedies.
We do.
Well,
kind of like the Dundies.
Exactly. Yeah.
Every year.
All right, so I believe we're ready for the cast now.
Yeah, we're ready for the cast.
We're ready for the cast now. Okay, so
weird,
moving on to
awards,
no awards. So
we got to end it here.
We have a section that we just jump. I'm so out of my field. It's great. All right, so moving on to the cast of the 1959 House on Haunted Hill. We of course have Vincent Price playing the eccentric millionaire Frederick Loren. You'll recognize Vincent Price from movies like The Great Mouse Detective, The Abominable Dr. Phibbs, and the 1956 version of The Ten Commandments.
He was also in the Michael Jackson Thriller video, if you remember.
What, wasn't he? Yeah.
I like how the first thing you said was The Great Mouse Detective. You know what I mean? Instead of the Tingler or anything else that he's done.
Vincent Price did.
The Great Mouse Detective. You know, I want to shine a light on lesser known films.
I didn't even know he was in that. I'm not going to lie. I don't even know if I've ever seen The Great Mouse Detective. He was the mouse. I don't think I've ever seen The Great Mouse Detective. That's the No, so we're off to a commanding start.
One of the most prolific actors in history. Great Mouse.
Great Mouse. Vincent Price's greatest movie, The Great Mouse.
It's those ears. It really.
I'm going to mention that the next time someone asks, or the next time I see the meme, they're like, I'm going to judge you by what movie
You know Vincent,
Price from The Great Mouse Detective, man. Best work by far.
Proving your film grad right there. Some people have indie bands. I have The Great Mouse Detective. Okay, next up we have Carol Omark playing Annabella Lauren, the wife of Vincent Price's Frederick Lauren. And you'll recognize from her... You might recognize her from films such as
The Great Mouse Detective 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Not The Great Mouse Detective. Okay, we have the Scarlet Hour, the Mannix television series, and the 1959 film The Scavengers.
I don't think I've seen any of those.
Never heard of any of those before now.
Pretty much.
Next up, we have Richard Long playing Lance Schroeder. You could recognize him from such films as the 1946 movie The Stranger. He was in several Twilight Zone episodes, so I have to mention that in your podcasts, and Jimbo. And then also he was in the film Tokyo After Dark. Next up, we have, appearing in her last film, Caroline Craig plays Nora Manning. You might recognize her from such films as Giant, the 1956 film Giant. The creatively titled film Studs Lonigan. I have no idea what that's about, but it's a great title. And also the film Northwest Passage. And like I said, that was her last film she appeared in. Yep. Next up, we have Elijah Cook Jr. Playing Watson Pritchard. He's the man who had experience with the House on Haunted Hill before this movie starts. And you'll recognize him from such films as Rosemary's Baby, the 1956 movie The Killing, and The Big Sleep.
Oh, that's a movie after Terence. The Big Sleep.
The Big Sleep. It's a documentary about Terence. Picture. Next up, we have Alan Marshall playing Dr. David Trent. You could recognize him from such films as The Garden of Allah, the 1941 film Lydia, and the 1939 version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So, great actor himself. Next up, we have Julia Mincham plays Ruth Bridgers. You might recognize her from movies such as The High and the Mighty, Edge of Hell, and Hit and Run. Next up, we have Liana Anderson playing her last films, playing Mrs. Slides in her last film. You might recognize her from such movies as Johnny Gunman and the 1922 film Ashes. Yeah. And last, and possibly least, we have Howard Hoffman playing Jonas, and it appears in this is his only film he ever appeared in.
It's sad that a lot of these
are their last films.
Films that they did. So
yeah,
also, I like how you say you may know these actors for.
I'm filmed from 100 years ago. You know them from this,
but it's coming from the guy that thinks The Great Mouse Detective is Vincent Price's
so well
finest
known.
work.
So I just, maybe I'm not like in touch with modern culture. But anyways, that is the cast of The Haunted Hill. The good one.
Before we get started, I'd like to say that the opening of this was really intriguing to me. I like how and part of the reason is how it just had the music, and that's where a lot of, if you ever had a record or a cassette of Halloween music where it's just like the doors creaking and all that, that's where this came from. It's from the House on Haunted Hill. This is where they got the idea for all that. But, the opening scene where that guy's like, it's just his head, He's like,
I was in this house. It was awful.
Yeah, great. So here we go.
Worst Yelp review ever.
The large money that this film made was noticed by none other than Alfred Hitchcock. This led him to create his own low-budget horror film known as Psycho from 1960, which, if you go way back in time to our episode 2, me and Terence covered that, and it was also the first time that we used the trailer at the beginning of the episode. So here's what I was saying. The opening scare trick was so effective that it actually started the idea of novelty haunting records. Records of spooky sounds, sound effects, and music that were most commonly used for Halloween parties, and makeshift haunted house attractions. As you already said, that the house of the exterior in Los Feliz was actually designed by Frank Lloyd Wright and built in 1924. It is listed on the National Register of Historic Places, so that's probably still there.
Okay, yeah.
And then somebody can go by and take that.
That was going to be my initial question.
I also wonder if it appeared in any other movies, because usually if you have like a pretty much prolific house that something was filmed in, they'll be used in multiple movies, and you never notice until someone points it out to you.
Yeah, definitely. That's something I guess where just like so many of those things get buried by film history. It's like,
and not only that, but a lot of things sites and stuff are damaged by fires, tornadoes. They
That's
get destroyed.
true, yeah.
So
National,
Especially
California
in California.
wildfires,
Right.
all those kind of things.
Fires
You
are the
know,
worst
that
over
state
there.
gets ripped up every year.
One thing I
The,
know is fire season.
Yeah.
the $10,000 offered to each of the guests in 1959 would be equal to over $92,000 in 2021.
Yeah, that's an insane amount of money. And like for just one night in a hotel, or one night in a
Hotel, yeah.
in a castle. You know, or
How could you
wherever.
not be
Haunted.
skeptical?
The haunted hill, the house on the hill. What words do you think?
Skeptical. How could you not be skeptical?
Skeptical.
That's what I was trying to say.
Skeptical of the spectacle.
As I go through the English lexicon of words. With that much amount of money, be like, yeah, no, we'll give you an insane amount of money if you just stay here one night.
You're like, okay,
Sounds like
Terence
the catch
signed it.
is-
Immediately figuring like, I'm
Oh,
gonna
but
die.
by the way, you could die.
Oh, well, I could die any day.
Well, he did give you all a gun. Remember those coffins?
That's true, yeah.
That was pretty cool. Elvira, also known as Cassandra Peterson, once said on Larry King Live in 1985 that this was her favorite horror film. Which is very interesting because she's done a lot of horror movies.
I had a lot of experience watching all the horror movies.
Right.
And just like, the expertise of
So-
it, was like to call it her favorite is surprising, actually.
And this is another sad statement that the failure of the original copyright holder to renew the film's copyright resulted in it falling into public domain, meaning that virtually anyone could duplicate and sell a VHS DVD copy of the film. Therefore, many versions of the film are available that were available on the market are either severely and usually badly edited and or of extremely poor quality, having been duped from second or third generation or more copies of the film.
Oh, wow.
What was the other one that we ran into this problem with where they failed to do the license? You remember? We were talking. I can't remember what it was.
I know it's one of them.
Right.
We've done so many, I can't pull that memory out.
Alan Marshall, who plays the elegant Englishman among the group, hoping to survive a single night in Hill House, has been a popular supporting actor in 1930s, with prominent roles opposite Greta Garbo in Conquest and Charles Loughton in The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yep.
His life sadly ended dramatically when he died on stage playing one of Mae West's multiple husbands during a live performance of her play Sextet.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
Can you imagine dying in front of a live audience like that?
Doing your love. No.
Yeah.
A live audience, like, that's kind of like a scary thing ever because they wonder, like, is he acting? And then just people keep waiting and waiting and waiting. It's like, no, he really just died. We all just watched the man die, everybody.
It just...
Like, there's a few pages of history, like magicians
did the curtain have to come down? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just, show must go on type of thing. You don't
you have
know. Different
it's,
time, different era.
It's weird how to handle that situation. I couldn't
Well,
imagine.
especially, Kyle, where we used to work, where I still do. When something happens like that, that thing still keeps going. You know what I mean? They just get them
Exactly.
off to the side. Let's go. Keep that line running.
Brutal.
Yeah.
In 2018, the holder of the Allied Artists Library for Warner Brothers still receives bookings for 35mm release prints of this movie.
Wow.
So that's still pretty cool. The skeleton that rises from the vat of acid is a real human skeleton.
What?
Like most movies, it was simply faster and cheaper to buy a real human skeleton from a biological supply house than having one created by the special effects department.
I got that on the trivia notes as well. I just remember, like, I think the only other film I remember being notable for that was like Poltergeist, when they had the all
Yeah,
of the
skulls.
yeah.
the skeletons in the pool, and they didn't tell any of the cast that, like, no, there's real dead bodies in there.
Imagine, you're like, oh yeah, I'm a donor, and like in your mind, you're like, no, my body parts when I pass will go to like people who need it, and they're like, oh, what was your body used for after dying? Film.
Some of the Emergo equipment still exists, has been resurrected for use during special showings of the film.
Sorry, this is random. You think they can credit the bodies?
That's like,
I wonder if they did.
ideally they should.
I don't think you would have their ID though. There might be.
I looked for that in the cast. I could not find anything about it. I really did look for it, and honestly, I didn't look this one up, but I haven't heard any kind of like post-mortem kind of casting of like, wait, this dead body was performed by this person. I haven't seen that actually.
Right. So here's what I was saying earlier. The popular theme music originally had haunting lyrics by Richard Kanye. Not Kanye West, but Kanye.
Richard Kanye West.
But only the orchestral version
No
was
relation.
used in the final film. For the record, the lyrics went as follows. There's a house on Haunted Hill where everything's lonely and still, and the ghost of a sigh, when we whispered goodbye, lingers on. And each night gives a heartbroken cry. There's a house on Haunted Hill where love walked. There's a strange silent chill. There are memories that yearn for our hearts to return, and a promise we failed to fulfill, but we'll never go back. No, we'll never go back to the house on Haunted Hill.
Interesting.
Julie Mitchum, sister of Robert Mitchum, was wearing a large Baha'i ring on the set. The director noticed this and thought it would add a slight bit of mystery to her character, so he arranged one shot with an extreme close-up of the ring. The inscription of the stone is a rare Arabic calligraphy that translates as "God is most glorious."
Nice. And everyone watching it was like, "Oh, it's something awful! It's something awful!" It says definitely some hidden history.
This will definitely
it's
tie into the movie later.
No, it just says, "God is good, guys. Go chill."
So the director, this is a director's trademark. Castle used a gimmick called Emergo, which we said some of it still exists in theaters. This is when the skeleton rises from the acid vat in the film. A lighted plastic skeleton on a wire appeared from a black box next to the screen to swoop over the heads of the audience. The skeleton would then be pulled back into the box as the skeleton, would swoop over the head and be reeled back in. Many theaters soon stopped using this effect because when the local boys heard about it, they would bring slingshots to the theater. When the skeleton started its journey, they would pull out their slingshots and fire at it with stones, BBs, ball bearings, whatever else they could find.
That's fantastic. I wonder how many of those skeletons are real, too.
Well, did you miss the part where I said plastic skeletons?
Oh, plastic
this time
skeletons.
there,
Details.
Nora,
a plastic skeleton? Are you...
Nora Manning is the only one to see ghosts throughout the movie.
That's true.
There's total, the body counts 2. David Trent and Annabelle Lauren after falling the acid pit. He is off screen when it happens. They say that the house still looks very modern to this day. It's unexplained. This is something that I wondered too. It's unexplained how the rope floats through the window and wraps around Nora's feet and then unwraps itself. It goes back out the window again.
Yeah, they really skipped over the details with that.
It says
one.
Nora would have seen and felt it, if there was a string attached or something. That's one that I was like, this doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then I got another question, which I don't know. Since we're on that part of the movie, the wife, what was it, Annabelle?
Yeah.
How'd she get outside if all the doors and windows were locked? How'd she get outside to float like that?
Attic roof.
I'm asking you, Terence. I need answers.
It's one of those things where, to me, it sounds like almost like when the creation of this movie started, like the initial writing, they decided on all these horror scenes, and then it wasn't until the end that they decided on a twist. And it was like they didn't retroactively make that twist work with those horror scenes.
But what I'm saying is, the house that they were in,
yeah,
who owned it?
Well, it was
its own. Like, no one in the house owned that house because they were renting it out.
Yeah, but here's something else. It said that Vincent Price, this character, had invited all those people.
Yeah, but that's not his house.
But what I'm saying is, but he said that she invited everybody.
So,
and I don't think she would have invited her.
She didn't, because she made a huge, she had a huge, fit over it. She's like, look, I don't want to hang out with these people. And he's like, well, you wanted a party, and I gave you one.
Right, but what I'm saying is, the reason I don't think she did is because she wouldn't have invited her boyfriend or fling to this thing.
That too, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, there's that.
Well, the initial plot, I understand, like, Annabella's idea was to suggest to Frederick to host a party which she then have planned to kill him at, and then Frederick agreed, but then Frederick decided to do his own House on a Hill themed party. And Watson Pritchard was the original, his family owned that house, and then I believe he went, after they died from those murders, then Watson basically went to that house, knew it was haunted, and then left it forever. And I'm assuming he must have either sold the house or gave it away or something like that. And then later he got invited back by Frederick Lauren, played by Vincent Price, and then the whole $10,000 thing went down.
Now here's an interesting thought: what if the remake version is what he really wanted to do, realized that he was way out of his depth special effects wise, and then they changed the ending to be like this just murder mystery type of thing instead?
Well, we got a skeleton, can we do something with that?
Because you look at it, it does have those actual haunted aspects, but it's never really capitalized on.
Right, but I think also that I don't necessarily think that that's the case, because I think that with the new special effects that came out, that he wanted to keep the movie relevant, and by doing that, in order to keep up with the times, and when this came out, the remake, what was it, 99, 98-ish, somewhere in there maybe?
Oh, 99,
yeah.
The remake
so,
you
got to think of all the other movies that were coming out at that time, supernatural movies and all that, and he's like, hey, maybe I can milk this a little bit more.
Lean in on it, yeah.
Right, so...
That's a good point.
That's true.
It's another fun. If I'm nitpicking at this movie, here's another thing that I don't understand. Just a couple things. One, when the one girl that's always in the ghost, and she goes down into the cellar, and that guy follows her because he's like, "Hey,"
Yeah.
and he goes there, and
Going to a dark cellar.
and they go into
join
that.
you.
They go into that one room, right? Mm-hmm. And he's knocking on the wall. And it's like hollow. You go the other.
Yeah.
So she just goes to the other side, right? Or he goes to the other side, or whatever, and then he gets hit in the head, or whatever. No, she screams. Remember, she screams.
Yeah.
And you see that ghost, and she goes floating across.
Yeah.
There was only like 6 feet there. How come it took that guy so long to get to her?
Or didn't see her go through
Yeah.
the door because later revealed that that's just an actual person later.
Right.
It was like,
Right.
you surely should have saw that woman.
Right. And she screamed, and you're literally right a door length. You know what I mean?
Back again, how they never explain it. Like she very clearly says that she believes that she was levitating when she was going over there, and
Right.
like, even in the film, like it's clear like she's on a track or something like that being
Right.
moved. And so it was one of the things where just like they never explained how she did that. Either.
Right. That, and then another thing is at the very end of the movie when, they think Vincent Price is dead or whatever, and the skeleton comes out of the vat, and it looks really cool. But then you see him after his girl or his wife or whatever standing there like, and she's frozen and she's walking backwards, and the vat's right there, you know what I mean? So, but when you see Vincent Price walk around, he's got like that big old box around him with all them wires, And I'm like, how could she not see these wires?
Or hear him, or anything. Yeah.
Any of that.
Which when you're watching on HD, definitely can see the wires even plainly in there.
Maybe we see why I didn't get any awards.
Right. But it was great acting.
No, it was. I enjoyed watching it. I liked it.
Yeah, it's like for the time it definitely worked, and now it's gotten to the point where it's more campy now and appreciation.
Especially having had watched the remake first and then coming back to see this, I can see the parallels to where the remake got its inspiration, or I shouldn't even say inspiration because the same writer wrote the remake. So I can see he was like, let me take elements from my old film of this, and then I'll change it up at this point because it does follow the original movie up until a quarter way into the movie, and then it just goes full,
off the
ghost,
wall, full,
offing people,
supernatural. Let's go for it. Let's double down on this.
So let's go ahead and start with Kyle. Kyle, give us your thoughts on this movie.
Yeah, this is an excellent film, but unfortunately, like
not as great as The Great Mouse Detective, but
not as good as The Great Mouse Detective, as
Vincent
the
Price's
greatest
best
film
movie.
ever made from Vincent Price. But this is as a younger person, it's weird watching this film after watching like Simpsons horror specials or any other like cartoons or movies that pay homage to the House on Haunted Hill. It's weird feeling going back and seeing the original, and it feels like I've watched so many parodies that I've already seen this film in spirit, even though I had never saw the original film. So it almost felt redundant and a little boring to me in that way. But I still appreciate it for what it is. It's still an excellent film that was incredibly influential, but not like incredibly enjoyable to watch. Just because I feel like I watched all the notes and pitches and all the rhythms go in like Simpsons and Family Guy and whatever else, any kind of movie, any kind of horror movie, just like they've already done this now, so everything is just like played out to a degree. But I still think it's overall a great film.
You know what I felt about this film is now given I don't have any merits and I don't know, I'd have to look at other movies and see what their budget was, especially like big time releases, but this feels like this is the B flick horror movies of the late 50s. You know what I mean?
B flick, that's
you know what I mean? Because
that's a backhanded comment right there too.
It is, no, I mean, but it has those sort of elements that you even see now in sort of like B flick movies, as far as like inconsistencies and like more questions and answers and all this other stuff. But at the end, you still enjoy the fact of that. Oh no, it was still a good horror movie despite all of these things, and that's how I feel about this movie. Is despite all of these things and all these questions and like, wait, what? At the end of the movie. I enjoyed watching it. It had my attention, beginning to end. A big part of it is, oh, hey, Vincent Price. That carried the movie.
That definitely is the thing. Is like all the irregularities and flaws are now endearing to you.
Exactly.
You love it all the more for all those reasons.
And just watching horror movies, you come to just be accustomed to those type of things anyway. I mean, that happens in even some well-known horror movies, but other than that, I enjoyed it. If you're a fan of Vincent Price, I'd say check it out. If you're a fan of old horror films, definitely check it out. Outside of those things, unless you're film buffs like us who just like to pull random movies and watch them and see if it hits or not, I'd say it's a pass. That's how I feel about it. But I enjoyed it myself.
The thing I'm going to start off with right away is if Sir Alfred Hitchcock noticed this movie, then I
He
think we
noticed
should.
it because of the numbers.
Yeah, but it's because it was a good movie.
Because he went, I can take this and do better. And then he did by making Psycho.
No. So technically, we wouldn't have Psycho if this film probably would have never been made. So you got to remember where it came from. Vincent Price, I love his voice. I could have him narrate my life, and
It'd be a horror though. So.
yeah, exactly.
He's David Morgan Freeman.
But excellent acting from him. I thought a lot of the characters did a lot of great acting in this movie. Like I said, there's little inconsistencies about how this happened, and this happened, how that happened. I still have questions, but then again, part of me was like, well, is this part of it they want you to think that there's a ghost there too?
Yeah.
So I could see it either way. But then when you see her come off the pulley system, and unstrap it and all that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Leaves a little bit to the imagination. Then again, it was going one direction. They decided to go another direction because of the budgeting, timing. Because if you looked, it was only, a month of filming or something? I think it was. Or
it was
2
about
months?
3 months of filming.
Right. So, I mean, you don't know what the budget and everything, how it did. So,
Yeah.
But all in all, I enjoyed it. It's probably one of my favorite Vincent Price films. That, The Tingler, The Abominable Dr. Phibes.
Yeah.
Not the Great Mouse Detective.
It's no Great Mouse Detective, guys. I'm sorry. Next week.
But next week, we are going to be doing a fan pick. And this has been a long time. I mean, it's probably been a year since he requested this. We are going to be doing...
Sorry.
for Patrick Sheehan, we are going to be doing Captain Blood, the 1935 outstanding black and white film with Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland.
What a treat.
Great. It was a shocker that it was really as good as it was.
We're truly.
If you can shock Kyle and that it was a good movie, then it's...
Positively. Hair standing
But
up.
then again...
shocked.
He thinks The Great Mouse Detective is a great movie, so we'll see.
That's the best movie ever made that I've never seen.
Well, I think this episode's coming to a close. I think that's a wrap on this episode.
And cut.